What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, speaking in perfectly coherent English. Because he is from France, and he can speak multiple languages, because that is something that the cool people do. His name is Kimo, and he's playing Kronos. I love me some Kronos. Yes, we get to see some Kronos action. His opponent today in the red color playing as Loki, his main god. His name is Herro, and he is OP, also known as overpowered. And now I think about it just a little bit. Maybe this is heroes are OP, and he plays Loki where he makes Herro, and he's trying to make a comment about the strategy that he thinks is OP. Or maybe he's not. Maybe he's not, and I'm just reading into it just a little bit too much. We do see a relic on the map, the Eye of Ornlu. Definitely want to pick this one up and keep it away from the opponent here. So the thing that is actually super interesting here about this matchup, which we don't get to see very often, is Kronos has access to the Cairo Ballista on a much greater scale than the Uranus does, than the Loki does. Sorry, there's the Uranus does and the Gaia does. Because you get the cheaper and faster siege. It's a really, really big deal. So, yeah, that's my story. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And I'm interested to see how this game's going to go because of it. Now, the other thing that is really, really good with Kronos is time shift. Time shift is such an interesting mechanic. And I get sad whenever I see Kronos players not using time shift, because it is a very, very, very strong thing to be using. You can use it to a building block literally anywhere on the map. So if you get a raid, always have like a house on a hotkey to immediately go and time shift that house to block the units retreating away. You can also time shift buildings to the back of people's base. If you have like heavy upgrades, then on an infantry unit like heavy Murmillo coming through, you can just have one barracks back here, auto queuing heavy Murmillo onto a gold mine, causing a lot of chaos there. So many different options. But what we're seeing here from Kimo, it's seemingly looking like a standard 4:30 advance time, though all that being said, you probably do only want to go 4:30 here with Kronos on this map, but you do want to maybe think about early pressure against the Loki, otherwise they can be a little bit of a menace to deal with. So, we'll see how it's going to go. Herro's eating his hunt in his base. The map is painted desert, so it's a very, very open / closed map. It's a weird one. You have the food is very far away from your main base, but you do have points at which you can defend the food with these cliffs that kind of spawn fairly randomly all over the map. And then also you can utilize your forests to cause building or choke point blockages. We've also got a relic down in the bottom corner of the map here, the Mithril Horseshoes. Unfortunately, neither player in this matchup generally wants to make too many cavalry units, but it is still a very good relic nonetheless. So Kimo going up through Prometheus. His oracles have been left at home or deleted. Looks like he deleted them.
Herr Joes.
Interesting. Yeah. Who needs oracles? It's not like they are an advantage of Kronos or anything. So he's going to skip his focus. He's going to delete all of his oracles, and he's going to not have anything for early pressure. So Herro gets away with whatever he wants here. He's got his temple up at the very back. That's a funny place to put the temple, but I get it. He's trying to keep it away from being deconstructed. But it's a funny place to put it nonetheless. And he's going to be moving forward with this Herso, looking for someone to pick up. The troll coming over here. We'll see a longhouse being built at the very back of the base as well. This is actually really funny. But he's so far away from his opponent if he does this. Very interesting, but he's doing it nonetheless. And we see military barracks, counter barracks coming down for Kimo. The question is, how many Terma does he make? Does he make any Terma at all? As we see the Herso going to be wandering in here, ready to say g'day. A couple of Prometheans are getting built out here for Kimo, and he's going to delete both of them and then go wandering over to his opponent's base. 4 Prometheans. These are Kronos Prometheans, so I think they're just cheaper. I thought maybe they move faster, but they do not. They are just cheaper. 6.05 speed is standard, I think. And they're going to get going very quickly. So we see the Terma coming out, and we do actually see Caraballister here from Kimo. I like this. You can just leave these at home kind of in order to defend. You don't want to be moving them out of your base, really. And those Mamilo come out nicely. So Herro here, moving in with his Herso, looking for someone to raid. See the Prometheans spotting the dwarves of Herro, and then also the wood situation here. So he is going up. Oh, it's so annoying! Just Loki problems, man. Buff Loki ox carts. Buff Loki ox carts. Meanwhile, we see the Herso coming over here. They get pushed back by the Caraballister. The Promethean's still going to be looking for some raids here. There is a lone troll here who's going to try and fling some stones at the Promethean offspring. But the Promethean offspring are agile little fellas who dodge everything here. So we see the Hersos retreating away. And that's life. Mana coming up now for Kimo. As we see the Caraballister still getting built. Very smart, but still hasn't used any of those. These early Prometheans I actually really like, and you can use these to get those time shifts started. Obviously, you probably can't do it this early, but getting a position and scouting out your opponent's base well enough to work out where you want to potentially time shift a whole bunch of buildings is really, really good. As you see, the Hersos still do not have Hall of Thanes. Is Herro researching that one? Yes, he is. So they're going to be fast enough to start causing some issues here. And we see the Promethean offspring getting taken out there by the town center as the Herso scouting around, trying to find something to attack. He does have his spy down on this position onto those Hero Mamilo there. So he's going to see the full army, and he's going to have a completely fine time to look around here and get some damage done. Now, the thing is here that Herro's basic, or Loki's basic plan here in this matchup against Atlantean isn't really to fight. You just want to find favor value from these Hersos. So even if you just kill animals, it's kind of, that's the value you're looking for. And you want to pick off some villages, some army if you can, but not losing Herso is key. And then all you want to do is get to the heroic age, click flaming weapons on your opponent's base, and live the dream. Especially against Kronos, who does not have the Stymphalian birds. So we'll see if he's going to be able to do anything with this. We do see Kimo just going to be sitting back here as these villagers finishing up on the Gazelle. And Herro might take this opportunity now that the army has moved away to move in here and take down these villagers that are gathering on this lone Gazelle here. There is a mana over here that he has to kind of deal with, but there's how many villages? There's 5 citizen here, so the citizen's just going to be walking around. We do see the Caraballister coming in here, the Mamilo coming through as well. The villagers immediately going to be making their way over onto this elephant here, as now these Caraballister are out in the middle of the map with a couple of the raiding cavalry. You got to be super careful in these fights. We do see some nice micro there from Kimo to block that out as the deconstruction comes there onto the longhouse. The Caraballister doing a lot of damage here. Valor getting cast onto this position as these Caraballister just help out so much in this fight. The troll in the back is going to get targeted down. We see a second troll spawn. Very unfortunate to get that troll spawn there. But the Caraballister almost getting picked off completely here, as it's seemingly looking like Herro good micro there to keep his Herso alive. But he is losing quite a few of those Herso, though a couple of very low HP, and he's going to be able to heal them back up, as over here on this position a couple of Herso are getting picked off as Kimo manages to snipe those down. That Mithril Horseshoes is going to go the way of Kimo if he wants to pick it up. We'll see if he does click there. He does have the heroes, but no deciding against clicking on that one. And we continue along in this game as another temple coming down on this position. A bit of an interesting temple placement, but a temple placement nonetheless. A couple of trolls getting built now by Herro. I'm a bit confused about that one, but he is going for it. As the villagers are now going to be moving forward potentially onto these zebra here, onto the elephant as well. There's zebra in the middle of the map over here. And this is going to be dangerous for Herro. If Kimo notices that that's where the villagers are, that allows Kimo to make a move out. And right now we see the Herso here, very low HP on a couple of them, not utilizing that healing spring as much as he might like. And you can see, if you can select these, you can see the dead zebra here. You can definitely go and take that one down there if he notices that that's where where Herro is currently gathering resources from. Meanwhile, we see the raiding cavalry looking for something to attack. This is obviously the only place of importance for Kimo's economy. There are a couple of villages over here, but he's very easily able to retreat back to sentry towers and stuff over there. The rest is very defensive. Going to be difficult to get any villager kills on those positions. And Herro's retreating back home. Kimo's 102 population, 115. And Herro is 91 population, throwing down another longhouse here. As we see the dwarves making their way over onto this gold mine. So yet again, another weak point getting set up here for Herro. So 2 weak points for Herro, 1 weak point-ish for Kimo. This is going to be tough to defend. We'll see how he's going to go. We are seeing a little bit of the time shift shenanigans coming in here, setting up to come forward and grab these zebra here. Another Valor getting thrown down. Medium Murmillo is in. 6 hero Murmillo have been created here as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kimo investing in that Heart of the Titans. I believe that's what the technology is called, if I can click properly. Heart of the Titans it is, giving him a little bit cheaper hero conversion if he needs to have that. And we might see a fight starting to ensue against another troll spawn. It's a little bit troll. This is the weakness of Loki, is getting only troll spawns for the entirety of the game. But right now we see the cavalry coming around the back. Nice micro there from Kimo to split his army up, pushing the cavalry away here. Those trolls doing a lot of damage in the back, but as the Murmillo heroes come through, they're going to start completely dicing the trolls in the back as the Kyribalis are able to pick off a lot of those hero Norse units. The Hersers, very nice play there, but the raiding cavalry on top of the Kyribalis now dealing with those nicely. Population 89, 90 for Kimo to Herro's 66, definitely going in favor of the Atlantean player in this fight. Herro, for some reason, deciding to take this fight on this front here, and it's not going his way at all as Kimo absolutely massacres Herro's army here. And now the problem is going to be this location, take your pick, get that damage done to the economy of Herro, and you're going to be living the dream here. But looking like Kimo still not 100% aware that that's where the food gathering operation is, and obviously this gold mine could be the one that Herro is gathering from here. And Kimo's just going to wait for a couple more of those Kara Ballista. 4.24 speed is actually pretty decent for a unit like the Kara Ballista. We are seeing the Murmillo making their way up onto this position. The villagers are going to get caught out here, it seems. We see another time shift somewhere. What is he time shift? Oh, he's time shifting his mana. I mean, this is one way to use time shift. It's not my favorite way. I mean, you do have to do it, but I'm not seeing as much time shifting shenanigans as I would like here. Very sad. But the villagers are going to mostly manage just to get away from here. 7 remaining of 7, it seems. So, unfortunately, Kimo not getting anything there. Imagine if he had a time shift there to block the villagers. He could have put a barracks down here, block these villagers from getting away, and pick off every single one of them. Just saying. Time shift OP. Very good. We are seeing these villagers getting pushed off here as a counter raid coming through by Herro, but a whole bunch of units are here for Kimo. He's got to be careful, though. These Kyribalis, if they get caught out, die very, very quickly. We see some throwing axemen coming in onto this fight here as the raiding cavalry swinging around the back, taking down those Kyribalis very quickly, which is going to allow the throwing axemen to really get the damage done. The Hero Murmillo now coming in onto that troll in the back. We are seeing the throwing axemen helping out enough here, and the trolls do manage to survive, forcing Kimo back. Kimo does manage to get himself a second town center, but he now has been pushed off of the food. He does have a villager up on this top hunt over here, which is going to help him out a lot. And seemingly Herro has managed to move over onto this food as well. So Herro is going to be moseying along in this game very, very quickly, dealing with that mana as well, as Kimo is now in a bit of a difficult predicament. He's going to start spamming up these military buildings, throwing down some walls, making sure that this gold mine is safe, because this is a big, big weakness in this position. As part of the fundamental series, you'll note that identify a weakness and then act on that weakness to make it no longer a weakness. Very important. And we see the Murmillo raid coming in, picking off a couple of those villagers over here, and they get immediately pulled back. Herro is a very, very quick player, very quick to respond to everything. We do see a Valkyrie spawn Hyperion here as this mana is getting taken down. It's a very nice spawn here because it's going to allow him to move around and try and take out the Kyribalis there with said Valkyrie. But essentially, Herro is just going to be waiting now for his 800 food. He's got a few more left into that Dote. He does have the 800 food now as the armory is getting spammed up. The question is, where to now? Do you try and get a talent center? Do you try and go to the Mythic Age? It's all good. And now Kimo wandering forward here. As Herro needs to retreat back. There's no sense in fighting once you click Bragi. You want to wait. You see these Murmillo are here. The village is going to turn around, start shanking as Herro is having to defend just a little bit here. Lots of gold in the bank, which is completely fine. You throw down a mark and you buy food. Super important. Now the question is Kimo going to the Heroic Age himself? The answer is no. He's gotten his farms up. He's got himself no plow, not researching it. So he has indeed forgotten the plow here. Sometimes that happens. You build your farms, you think you research it, you forget it, and then you won't check until you want to get irrigation or something like that. So Kimo going to be continuing his push forward, ready to click up now. I'd like to see him go through Rhea, exactly, not through Hyperion here. Stealing enemy Battle Ball or Fire Giant here is very, very key. And you can even time shift the temple into a back position over here to go for a kind of back push with those behemoth. Get 1 or 2 behemoth out while your opponent is attacking you with flaming weapons. You push in and you take down the town center. It can be very, very key to getting some return damage done. So you lose your town center, they lose theirs, that kind of vibe. The villagers all getting found here as Herro not defending at all. But again, these villagers seemingly getting away from here, like just making their way right past the Murmillo of Kimo very, very easily. Right now, what Herro basically needs to do is ignore this completely and go straight after the enemy base of Kimo. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough time. For sure. We just see the watchtowers coming through there for Kimo, very aware of what is potentially coming his way. We see the throwing axeman wandering over here, Kimo pulling back away from this position, going after maybe the temple here, feeling like he might be able to do a bit of damage, but little does he know we do have a temple over here as well. We see a deconstruction onto the longhouse as those Herso do manage to find that weak point of Kimo. There are 6 citizens here, so 1 will probably fall here. Especially that low HP citizen on this position. Nice reaction from Kimo, though, to be honest, as we do see 1 has fallen. Battle Ball coming in. That 1 will potentially be traded here and stolen. As we see the other temple getting taken down. There's the trader. Has himself a Battle Ball. 5.83 speed on this bad boy Battle Ball. Going to get away from here with that behemoth going after the main base of Herro potentially here. We see the mana with 4 citizens in it getting shot down, but there is a very simple mana to jump over to here. The citizens can just jump through, hop through that mana into the town center if they so choose. But while this is going on, the Murmillo making a huge raid now onto these dwarves. The villagers can very easily take down the Kyribalis, though, because they do get that bonus versus siege. The throwing axemen come in to try and deal with those Murmillo very quickly. Very smart to do that as well. And now Herro is going up through hell very, very quick here. So this is going to be absolutely huge. Does he have a temple? He does have a temple, so he will get himself that free fire giant in order to help defend. And Kimo doesn't have trader for another 3 minutes here, so that's not going to be an issue there that Kimo that Herro, has to deal with. But losing both of those ox carts there, nice play from Kimo to notice that that's something he can do there. That behemoth wandering in, going to try and take down some more houses, maybe even some villages for whatever reason here, as the Herso can be able to take down that Battle Ball, and Herro lives another day here. Meanwhile, over here we see the Nidhogg getting thrown down onto this position here. Kimo without any real answer to a Nidhogg at this stage in the game, because he does not have any Arcus out. So Arcus Hero is going to be difficult to be produced here. But the villagers retreating away, running straight in to all of those trolls. He's going to lose a lot of citizen to the trolls as Kimo was not paying attention. 2 citizen do end up falling as the Axeman is sitting in onto this position now. The Nidhogg not actually getting targeted down at all here by the town center means that the town center is going to go down very fast. This Nidhogg does 40 crush damage a second, which is absolutely huge as the town center goes down very, very quickly here. And we still do have a flaming weapons potentially able to be used by Herro to get a whole bunch of damage done. We've got a forward temple now up for Herro. He's going to keep building those fire giants. He gets a mountain giant in onto this position as well, as the villagers are making a break for it here. Unfortunately, Herro not paying attention there and not being able to pick off any of those, as they do manage to get out of here. But while this is all going on, Herro's managed to get himself this gold mine over here, but has ended up finishing on said gold mine. So he's going to have to go elsewhere to continue his gold mining expedition. Meanwhile, fire giants here getting pushed back. We do have a whole bunch of Herro Miller here for Kimo to take them down. Lots of population available right now for Kimo. The town center on the front going up for Kimo is for Herro here, is he's trying to get a little bit of that going. Might also get himself this gold mine. Meanwhile, we do see the villagers coming over here with the help of that mana. One Valkyrie going to be enough to cause a lot of pain here though on this position. Meanwhile, we do have the Arcus coming through as well, as the Nidhogg flies directly over the main base of Kimo, running straight in to this bunch of units here. You can deal a whole bunch of splash damage there, but instead he is focusing on getting onto this location. The villagers all finding their way into this manor. Did end up picking off one villager, as you see that dead villager just sink into the ground. His loss, his sacrifice will not be forgotten. The Herro Murmillo still chasing these fire giants. I would steal one of these at this point and then use it to take down the hometown center, but avoiding to do that at this point. Do see these Arcus here need to be heroized. He does manage to heroize all of them, and then if you kind of alt X them, they immediately micro themselves to dodge the splash damage, and we do see a little bit more micro there from Kimo, but Herro going to be noticing this. Does manage to pick off one villager there, as we do see a couple of those Herro Norse creatures. The Hersa coming in with the fire giant to help out on this position. Meanwhile, over here, Kimo being pushed off that gold mine. He is no longer gathering gold in this map at this point in time, it would seem. Lots of food in the bank though. He doesn't have a market, so he can't sell that. He's coming back onto the gold here. We see a trader somewhere. Where did he use the trader? Here? Oh, he stole the fire giant. He stole the fire giant in order to try and take down this Nidhogg, which can now sit off on the side of the map, keeping himself alive there. We do see the throwing axemen, trolls, getting some big damage done over here in this position. But, I mean, pushing off the farms is good, but the towers are up. The town center is up. These units will fall quickly. Meanwhile, Mamilla checking out this gold mine. Still 0 gold getting gathered here for Herro. He's got very little left in the bank. He's got himself 27 villagers on gold. Meanwhile, over here, he has his Nidhogg. He's got his fire giant. He's got his Hersa. These Herro Arcus are in on this position. The citizen lineup is happening. No, attack this with the special. Oh, I'm so sad. He attacks the fire giant instead. But the Nidhogg will live here. We see flaming weapons getting cast onto this position with only three land units here. Seemingly the throwing axemen have all been picked off as well. The citizens getting pushed back as we see the Nidhogg getting max damage done. Will we see a myth unit spawn here from these heroes or not? Doesn't seem like there is the myth unit spawn we were looking for there. Fire giant comes in for Herro. It's going to help out an absolute ton. He can continue to buy food here from his market if he wants to continue to build the Hersa, but seemingly looking like Kimo is still very much alive in this game, as those Herro Arcus, Herro Mamilla able to deal with the fire giants nicely, but the rest of those human units are getting dealt with quickly, as more Hersa helping out a lot, as that favor pool generation is still coming through. Still has 10 seconds left of flaming weapons here, as the dwarves get pulled off the line there, pushing these units away, and Kimo lives another day. Herro lives another day. The game continues. 2 town centers apiece. We see the Nidhogg coming over here to check this gold mine out. 103 population remaining. He will be able to potentially take down the manor fairly quickly, and it's looking like now Kimo 0 gold in the bank himself here, but he does have the market to trade with as well. Still a lot to be sold here, especially because Herro is probably buying food at this stage, so it's not going to be a gold starve type of game here. No sirree. The fire giant coming in, splash damage gets completely sent here onto this situation. One fire giant does end up falling here, as the unfortunately those Hersa are not really able to do exactly what they wanted to do there, getting dealt with very quickly. We see the hero units getting created there. The Nidhogg does end up falling there to the Arcus, as those citizens making their way over onto this gold mine for Kimo to continue producing units units. We see an unfortunate troll spawn. Yes, Herro is in the Mythic Age, but you get any assortment of myth units in the Mythic Age. You can get a troll, you can get a frost giant, you can get a Fenris wolf brood, but yeah, he gets a troll there, the worst possible myth unit spawn you can potentially get, and Kimo is continuing to get himself those heroes, continuing to deal with the myth unit production of Herro, and Herro seemingly out of everything here. He does have double dwarf production right now, lots of dwarf income, starting to get some food income. He's got 63 villages, or 63 population, compared to Kimo, who's at 140 population, and now we see the Mamilo going after this town center. We also see another trader available for Kimo to take one of those fire giant if he so chooses. We see a behemoth coming in here. These Herso are wandering in onto this position as well, and Kimo notices it very quickly, starts targeting those immediately here as Herro is desperately trying to hold on to this position, but I don't think he's going to be able to. He doesn't have that many units remaining here at all, as we do see the Herso dropping out, going to be able to take down the behemoth very, very quickly. However, the town center is not long for this world, will end up falling, and Kimo has his eyes set on taking this town center for himself here, as he moves in with said citizen to shank once. Town center falls. Town center will go up immediately here for Kimo, as these Herso are getting pushed back. And do we see Herro with some favor in the bank? Not really. 16 there, as he's still trying to produce, finishing up that gold mine. There's really not that many gold mines remaining here in this game, as literally in a situation like this, anything can happen. This gold mine going to be under the control of Kimo, though, so he's not going to be able to get onto it. Could jump onto these zebra in the middle. The dwarves could come in and help fight this as well, potentially here. So you see the fire giant coming in, but the trader does get cast there, as you can now send the fire giant up here to start dealing with this situation of dwarves. There is 30 plus dwarves on this location that the fire giant special ability can use to just completely ice them. Look at all those dwarves just getting absolutely annihilated there by the splash damage. The Herso do hit the town center just a little bit to deny it for a little bit here in this game. Now Herso now trying to take down the gold income of Kimo, but Kimo's got a lot of resources, and we do indeed see Atlas as the god of choice here for Kimo. It doesn't really matter what he picks here. He just needs to get to those champion infantry, and he will be in a very, very good position to not be losing army too easily. We're still seeing very little food income here from Herro. He's starting to get some villager production here, not very much wood. He could buy wood if he wants to get those farms going. And we see a mountain giant spawn here. That's going to help out a little bit, as this game is continuing. But one thwack here onto that town center, or two thwacks, we'll put it to bed. We see an attempted palace on this position here for Kimo as well, to try and secure himself another gold mine ahead of time. Nice play there. Herro's at 105, 115 population. Kimo is at 140 population, but with the Atlas incoming, it's going to be a very, very difficult situation for him to be in. The Herso coming in, still no myth unit spawn on this fight. I'm not sure how much it's going to help him even at this point here. We see the Atlas coming in. Will we see any type of implode getting thrown down? Looks like he doesn't even need to. Kimo's with plenty of resources in the bag. Do we see any sort of immediate champion infantry? No, we do not. The gold villagers have finished up over here. They're going to be moving forward and trying to hit some sort of a villager Ragnarok. It seems we do see a frost giant spawn here, but the Argus makes his way in. 4.51 speed, speedy boy. Nonetheless, there goes the fire giant getting taken down. The frost giant falls as well. The palace is up here, and in that moment, Herro OP does end up tapping out. Kimo gets the dub. What a game here from Kimo, managing to hold on. A good game from Herro as well. I feel like he just didn't get the value out of flaming weapons that he really needed to get in order to get a fighting chance in this game. Kimo just managed to get himself to 3 town centers, holding nicely, and just takes that late game or mid game at the advantage with all of the raids. Still would have liked to see some time shift shenanigans over here just to continue the raids onto both of these points, but beggars can't be choosers. And also, imagine that that time shift onto this location here when the villagers are trying to retreat away would have been an absolute nightmare for Herro, but it doesn't happen. And in the end, that's the game. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you guys are on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.